Welcome to Dixon Rec Center, the home of the 2014 Oregon State University Intramural Basketball Championships. This year, all three games will be played consecutively, making for a very entertaining and exciting basketball tripleheader. My name is Matt Walton, joined as always by Josh Warden, and we'll be here with you for all three championship games tonight. Josh, one of my favorite things about rec sports here at OSU is that everybody feels involved, and here to tell us a little bit more about that is Mitch Wiltbank, the Sports and Special Programs Coordinator here at Dixon. Thanks for joining us, Mitch. First, I just want to ask you just a real basic question. Could you tell us a little bit about rec sports here at Oregon State?
Yeah, definitely. So rec sports as a whole is we're really about getting students involved in our various programs. So rec sports encompasses not only intramural sports and sport clubs, which we offer in our office area, but also fitness, outdoor recreation, general open recreation, so those that come in to lift weights or just shoot hoops or whatever. And we also manage the Student Legacy Park for the outdoor sports stuff. So.
As far as the participation goes this season of all the sports in general, how happy have you been with how much the competitors have gotten into it, and is it cool to see all these IM sports and clubs and watch how people get involved in basketball and any other sport for that matter?
Oh, it's amazing. This is why I do the job, to see the students participate like this. When I was in college, we had a great intramural program. I was a pretty good athlete, but not varsity level, and so it gives you that opportunity to get out, compete, hang out with your friends, and still do the sports you're passionate about.
Speaking of not that great, Josh and myself were actually on a B-League intramural team, and for those of you that don't know much about intramural sports here at Oregon State, it's a part of rec sports in general. How has the participation been from a student standpoint this year in the intramural sports in general?
It's been great. We set some record numbers in the fall with some of our intramural sports, especially some of our non-officiated leagues, which has been great. Some of our bowling leagues, billiards, some of our what I call the non-traditional sports. But basketball, again, we've had almost 270 teams. Our major team sports usually have around over 2,000 participants in each one. So student turnout's been great, along with their support.
How much of a variety is it? I know we have some A-League basketball championships where some of these fraternities might bring out 60 or 100, 150 people to these games, but then are there a fair amount of sports? I mean, you mentioned bowling and billiards, other ones that are a little more relaxed, a little more for just more recreation, and they can just go to it on a Saturday and be a little bit more low-key?
Yeah, so in addition to the leagues that we also offer weekend special events, so things like swim meets. We had an indoor triathlon this year. Table tennis, badminton, a variety of things. We try to offer a diverse program offerings to meet the needs of the students.
Well, Mitch, we really appreciate you coming on and answering a few questions, telling us a little bit about rec sports in general. And do you have any favorites, any team that you're pulling for today?
No, I'm just hoping for a good game, something nice and competitive so everyone ends up having a good time.
Good answer. I like it. Well, we appreciate you doing a quick interview just moments after we saw Kyle Urban, another part of the Sports and Special Programs interview live moments before. Again, we appreciate you coming by. We're looking forward to some great competition, starting off with the Women's Championship, a triple header, as we say, followed by co-rec and the All-University Championships. Again, starting with the women's, we got a great game starting out just about 5-6 minutes from now.
That's right. The Thetas and the Throwers are the names of the team. The Thetas, of course, are comprised of current and former members of Kappa Alpha Theta, and then the full name for the Throwers, Let My People Free Throw. So it's one of the fun things about in intramural sports, the team names themselves.
Yeah, it should be a good one, Matt. About 4:45 away from tip-off. The women's game is an interesting one because we have two teams who have made the championship game.
And we're just about to get underway here at Dixon Rec Center for the first of 3 games, an intramural championship triple header, Josh. The first one is the women's championship game featuring 2 prolific women's rec sports teams, the Thetas and the Throwers.
It's been an interesting road to the championship for each of these teams. Both teams only had to play 2 games in this tournament because of byes that they got because of their good record coming in into the tournament. Let's see here. The Thetas come in 6-0 on the season. In fact, they're coached by Hayden Craig, who is a tight end on the Oregon State football team. Along with Hayden, also another tight end on OSU is Tyler Perry, who's one of the cameramen we have tonight. And Tyler and Hayden both showing up tonight on their respective positions for the IM basketball. As for the Thetas, obviously they're all been part of the same sorority at some point while in their career at OSU. In fact, this same team has made it to the semifinals 4 consecutive years, Matt. This is the first year that they've won in the semifinals. They avoided becoming the Buffalo Bills of the IM Basketball League. They finally made it in the championship game. They're raring to go, but they'll face a tough task when they're playing the Throwers, another team that made it late into the tournament last year, another team that's played together for a year or two. I'm looking forward to it. It should be a good one.
Absolutely, and I actually got to talk to Kendall Knotts, a junior out of Beaverton, Oregon, who is on the Throwers, and I asked her, what's the biggest thing about making it to the championship game? And she didn't say it was about the glory. She didn't say it was about the win. She said, I just wanted a chance to play one more game with my team. This is a roster that has a lot of holdovers from last year's semifinal team. 5 of their 7 players played together last year and lost in the semifinals.
Wow, and they're a good team, too. I mean, they have 1 loss on the season, but it was in overtime earlier this year, and they're facing an undefeated team in the Thetas. So these are 2 powerhouse teams. They're some of the best teams in the league, and it's a great way to kick off our triple header of the championship night we have tonight, and we're just about to get underway. It should be a good one.
Yeah, it was really nice of Rec Sports, and again, thanks to Mitch for stepping on and doing the interview with us. But they really worked early with KBVR-TV to set it up so that the 3 championship games would be played back to back to back. Probably a logistical nightmare. But as far as the visibility goes, you can't beat it. We're already having fun, and there's a good crowd turnout here early on. And I believe we're just about to get underway here. Now, just a few parts of housekeeping. The halves, 2 15-minute halves, and the way that it works, it's running clock regardless of stoppage of play. If there's a foul, the clock keeps running until the last 2 minutes of the second half, I believe.
Yes, that is correct, and that's the way they've done it all season, and it's worked out so far. It creates for a little bit of consistency as far as how long the games take, but I like the stop clock in the last 2 minutes in case you've gone a game down to the wire, and we've seen that in a couple of these semifinal games lately. The Throwers had only an 8-point victory in their game to get into this championship, and the Thetas had a couple of games, close one in the quarterfinals as well to get into the championship game. So that 2-minute stop clock at the end could come into play if we got a buzzer beater or something along those lines down towards the end of the game.
Well, and like we talked about right before the game, these are 2 teams that know how to play together. This is not their first year, let alone their first game playing together. A lot of chemistry on both sides. It'll be interesting to see if the celebrity coach helps out. We know a little bit about that from our time in the B League.
And not to mention, you said some chemistry on each team, but there's also some connections between these 2 teams. In fact, for the Thetas, Candace Richard, who's on this team, played against Kendall Knotts, who is on the Throwers. They played against each other in high school. Candace went to Sunset High School and played basketball there, whereas Kendall played at Southridge High, where she won the 6A state title in 2010. And, yeah, they played against each other in their prep careers, now facing each other once again in intramural basketball. Also, Kendall played with Nikki Demers and Jenny Curtis on a co-rec team earlier this year. Now they'll be facing off against each other in the women's championship tonight.
A lot of storylines here. I'm definitely excited for this one. And a solid turnout already. The crowd lining the far side of the court. We're here on the we'll call it the near side, which is court 3 for those of you in the know. There are 3 basketball courts upstairs at Dixon Rec Center. And the championship games will all be being played on court 2, which of course is the center court. We got a lot of good stuff coming up for you here on KBVR-TV. if you're just tuning in, the first of a triple header for the Intramural Basketball Championships. We're starting with the Women's Championship. It'll be followed Game 2, which is the Co-Rec Championship, and then the All-U, a.k.a. the men's game, will be Game 3. Just about to get underway here. We're about to get the tip up. The tip not even contested and stolen, easily shot up, is airballed, rebounded. That's number 15, Olivia Gerard. Some really tight defense early on from Tyler Morrison, and she's gonna be a mess for the Thetas. I can tell you from personal experience, having played against her before. Pass up mid-court, trying to work it inside, but the ball's stolen. So the thrower's gonna have their second possession. Three-pointer is up and in. So a nice corner three, no hesitation there at all. And just like that, let my people free throw up 3-0.
Free throws or not, might as well make it a three-pointer. Amanda Raithke with that tray. She's not necessarily known for a three-point shooting. A couple of the other players get more of the threes, but she knocks down that one.
Ball fought for and saved. A great heads-up play there will save the possession. That was Olivia Gerard with the heads-up play, saving the ball out of bounds off of one of the throwers. Ball inbounded and kicked inside. Shot up, no good. Rebound fought for. That's going to be out of bounds to the throwers. So the throwers with a 3-0 lead, and they will be, oh, excuse me, thanks, John. They will have the possession as well. Tyler Morrison taking the ball up. She's speedy. Kicks the ball inside. Great cut, and shot no good, but she'll be going to the line. That's number 21, Queen Dash.
A nice little chemistry between those two players. You mentioned both of them are very quick. That's what they're known for. When we were talking to a couple of the throwers, players, about how they view the attributes of their fellow teammates, they quickly describe Queen and Tyler as speedy, energetic, feisty kind of players who will get a lot of steals and maybe even get fouled a couple times, as Queen just did a moment ago, although she does miss the first free throw.
Second free throw is up, rims out. These rims can be unfriendly. Rebound fought for and controlled by the Thetas. Kunagul with the ball, running the point. Kicks it over to Craig. Ball fought for, almost stolen, but they maintain possession. Drive inside. Defender actually falls down, and they're going to call a jump ball. So some aggressive play here early on, Josh. One thing I've heard about these championship games is they can get kind of chippy. So far physical, but no chippiness. Yeah,
and they've gotten all the way to the championship game. You expect them to be playing very hard. As Candace Richard up for three. She had a couple of those three-pointers in the semifinals, but a nice offensive rebound.
Yeah, third chance opportunity is good for the Thetas, and they're on the board. Kunagul with the rebound and the putback. The throwers with possession now. Up at the top of the court is Morrison. Takes the ball inside, digs it back out. Three-point attempt is up. It's deep, short. Rebounded by Morrison, though, and she has her shot blocked, but able to get the ball back. Good defense from the Thetas. Open three-pointer up, no good. Rebound fought for and controlled by the Thetas, but she's in trouble, and the ball's going to be tipped out of bounds. Thetas maintain possession, but some really physical defense, aggressive defense from the throwers.
And you can tell that the Thetas have a little bit more height than the throwers do, especially Olivia Gilrod down low. But what the throwers do so well is they just get steals. They're shorter, they're pesky, and they can get into the pockets of the Thetas.
Great dish from Demers. Kicks it over to Amelia Craig for the mid-range jumper. A really heads-up play, and the Thetas take the lead 4-3. Ball tipped and stolen by the Thetas. Heads-up defense. That's not exactly their trademark. That's more of the throwers' MO, but able to get a steal here early in the first half. Morrison sticking with Demers. Demers kicks the ball off. Three-pointer up for Kunagul. No good. Second chance point is up and good, though. Another offensive rebound and putback from Jody Kunagul.
And that was her second bucket just the same way on the same side of the basket after an offensive rebound. She had one about 2 minutes ago, and she already has 4 points on the board just by herself.
Three-pointer up for the throwers is no good. Rebound fought for. Offensive board for the throwers. Ball tipped out of bounds. They're going to call it Theta ball. So 6-3 lead for the Thetas and the possession. Just under 5 minutes gone by, and a full court press by the throwers. We're going to see a lot of that because they do have the speed. That is their advantage here in the game. Ball being brought up by Demers, kicks it over far side. Top of the key, three-pointer up. Long rebound by Morrison, and she's looking to run. She's got the speed in 2-on-1 situation. She digs it out and needs some help. Dribble drive around. Oh, but the ball is stolen. It was a good move there, and Reithke wasn't able to keep the handle on the ball.
And that's supposed to be the throwers' game, reaching in and getting those quick steals and get out in transition, but the Thetas giving them a little bit of their own medicine.
Throwers maintain possession. Ball inbounded, a great pass and the lay-in up. Great inbounds play there for the throwers.
And that was by Queen Dash, and now another steal almost by Tyler Morrison. Great effort. Queen Dash, by the way, in high school, she broke her right wrist when she was in high school, and it was her dominant hand. So she had to work with her left hand while she was recovering from that. And now she's able to play with both hands because of that injury. She's able to finish on both sides of the hoop, as we saw just a minute ago.
Drive and dish by Morrison. Shot up, no good. Rebound by the Thetas. They have the lead, 6-5, and the possession. A deep three-pointer is up, no good. Rebound gained again by the Thetas. And so 6 second chance points for Kappa Alpha Theta here early on in the first half.
An athletic play by Nikki Demers also. She's actually returning from a torn ACL and still able to make that recovery, and with a nice three in response, however, by Amanda Reithke, but 2 straight plays on both sides of the court.
No hesitation for Amanda Reithke there. Puts that three-pointer up and in. So an exciting game so far. Theta's trying to take advantage of their size. Shot up near side, airballed, but controlled by the Thetas, and there's going to be a foul. So Jody Kunigal is a force on the offensive board so far, and she is going to be rewarded with a couple of free throw attempts.
And they've all been on the same side of the basket. She just kind of camps out on the right side. She's taken a couple of three-pointers already. Hasn't been able to convert on those, but when she gets down low and picks up the offensive rebounds, that's how she's made the biggest difference.
First free throw is good, and we're going to see a couple of substitutions here. In for the throwers, Haley Porter, and that's number 13, Michaela Anderson. Second free throw is up and in. And Thetas with a 10-8 lead. That's going to be the challenge for the throwers, is contending with Theta's size, Josh. So far a tight game, though.
Yeah, Olivia Gilrod is the main center down low, although as she picks up the rebound right there if she can fight for it. She said herself sometimes she gets more rebounds than points in certain games.
And a little too aggressive on fighting for the ball there was Reithke. She's going to be called for the foul. But you have to really appreciate the aggressive defense so far by the throwers. They know that the quickness is their advantage against the Thetas, and they're going to it early.
And most teams won't get into the bonus anyways. They probably won't get to 7 fouls in one half. So if you pick up a couple chippy ones around half court, it probably won't make a difference towards the end of the game.
Rebound by Dash, and they're looking to move. Puts the shot up. Pull up J, no good. Short. Rebound fought for and controlled by Knotts. She kicks it up top of the key. Three-pointer up. No good. Rebound fought for and tipped. It stays in bounds. And the Thetas control, and now they're looking to move. Kunigal with the ball. She's being pressured heavily by Reithke. Ball inside and a lay-in. No good. It rims out. Ball's tipped out of bounds. Thetas are going to maintain possession. They were fortunate there.
Gilrod got down low, and that's exactly where the throwers don't want to let her get. She's usually pretty efficient down low. Just couldn't quite convert on that one, though.
Ball inbounded. That's number 22, Candace Richard, with the jump shot up and in. Nothing but net. 12-8. Thetas lead the throwers. Ball entered far side. They're trying to work the post game here. Near corner three is up and no good. Rebound fought for and controlled by the throwers, however. A second three-point attempt, no good as well. Rebound Thetas. And the ball's being fought for, and they finally dig it out. And they can add to their lead, already up 12-8 with 5:30 left in the first half here.
And a nice board by Candace Richards. She doesn't start for her team, but she's a nice addition off the bench. She provides a spark both in this game and she did in the semifinal game also to push her team into the championships.
Ball fought for, tipped out of bounds by Anderson. Good defense, but the Thetas maintain possession. Ball in the hand of Demers, being guarded very closely by Anderson. Demers is going to take it inside, dribbles baseline, steps out of bounds though, so really good defense by the throwers to force the turnover.
Yeah, they didn't even need help side. It was just Demers going down the baseline, tried to get rid of it, but just stepped out of bounds a little bit too quick.
Queen Dash will bring the ball up for the throwers. They trail by 4 with under 5 minutes left in the first half here. Open three-pointer, up and in, just like that. Anderson gets her team within 1.
And she's another person who's returning from an ACL tear. She's torn the same ACL twice in the same knee, most recently about 1 year ago. In fact, between these two teams, there's been 6 torn ACLs and 7 knee surgeries. That's a pretty good story about how these teams will be able to respond from that, come back to it, and continue playing basketball.
Three-pointer no good, and digged out by the throwers. They're looking to move. They've got a 3-on-2 if they can take advantage of it. Ball far corner, fakes the 3, kicks it out to the top. Now far side. Around her defender, she's going to put it up. Shots blocked and controlled by the Thetas. Really chippy defense from both of these teams, and it's paying off. A relatively low-scoring game at 12-11.
Yeah, low-scoring. Both of these teams have gotten into the 30s or 40s at least in a lot of these tournament games, but it's been low-scoring so far.
Three-pointer up and in. Nicole Demers, without hesitation, puts her team up by 4 again.
And I'll be honest, one time I was playing some pickup basketball here at Dixon. I was actually guarding Nikki, although I didn't know her name at that point. I was guarding her. She jacked up a three-pointer right in front of me one time, knocked it down, and I had to jog back on offense after getting scored on.
Great cut and find for the throwers, but not able to convert, and the Thetas take over possession. Already up by 4, and they're looking to add to that lead. 15-11 is the score. Candace Richard takes it inside, shows off some good handle, but can't put the ball in, and the throwers with the rebound. That's Knotts with another rebound. Drive inside by Knotts. She's fouled, almost in, but she'll be shooting 2 free throws. You have to like the aggressiveness on the offensive end from the throwers. They know they don't have the size advantage, but they do have speed and quickness.
Yeah, and coast to coast also for Knotts. You just got the rebound and then dribbled past half court and then decided, you know what, I'm just going to take it all the way, and she draws a foul. She'll go to the line for 2.
First free throw is in, and it says, you know, she told us before the game that she is a post player through and through. She likes playing near the basket. Rebounding is her thing. She's going to fight for every ball that comes near her.
And she's a pretty fundamental player also coming out of Southridge High School. In fact, her head coach at SHS was Michael Meek, who's now the head coach at George Fox University. And she says Meek was the one who inspired her to become a coach when she grows up. And she's also a student manager on the OSU women's basketball team here at OSU.
Rebound by Kunigal on the missed free throw. Ball back inside. Open lay-in for the Thetas, and easy for Olivia
Gilrod.
Gilrod. Thank you.
We got it.
The lead now 5, 17-12. Almost a travel. Able to get the ball off, though. Drive inside, shot up, no good. Fights for own rebound, can't get it. And the Thetas with the rebound again. 17-12. And a chance to make it bigger, but they throw the ball away there. That was an uncontested turnover. So not exactly slamming the door shut here in the first half, but a comfortable 5-point lead for the Thetas. The throwers with the possession now. Ball far side, Morrison around the defender trying to find somebody. Finally able to get the ball off to Anderson. Anderson fakes the shot, feeds the ball inside to Knotts. Good post move is blocked and fouled. So there's that fundamental play that you were talking about, Josh. She knew that she was deep in the post, might as well go to put it up, and she's going to be at the line again for 2.
And once she got position, you could tell that she's probably either going to put it in or draw the foul, and that's the second foul drawn on Gilrod in just a couple of minutes here, as we have about 56 seconds left before the halftime break. But getting fouls on Gilrod could be critical.
And another missed free throw from Knotts, though. That's her last 2 free throws that she's missed. And I don't know if her coach would be too happy about that.
If I had to put money on it, I bet she'd make this one, though.
17-12, the Thetas lead. throwers with a chance to make, and that free throw's in.
So told you so.
Down to 4, Josh. I owe you some money. 30 seconds left in the first half here. Now, the clock will not stop in the first half regardless of what happens. The only time the clock actually stops is in the second half in the last 2 minutes. So the Thetas with the chance, they're probably going to play for the last possession here. Richard drives around her defender, puts it up, and a great move by Candace Richard.
Still a chance for the throwers, though. 7 seconds left.
Ball dug out by Morrison. She knows there's not much time left, puts it up, and she's fouled. So a really heads-up play from Tyler Morrison. She knew exactly how much time was left in the half.
Yeah, after that quick basket by Candace Richard, they knew they had about 10 seconds left. They got plenty of time, used the full 10 seconds of it, and then even if you draw a foul with 3 seconds left, you know the time's going to run out, so there's not a chance for the Thetas to respond.
Morrison, a good free throw shooter, misses the first of her 2. And Kappa Alpha Theta maintains a 6-point lead. Tyler will shoot 1 more free throw. There's no time left on the clock, and that one is gone again. So the throwers shooting themselves in the proverbial foot by not making their free throws early on in this game, Josh.
It's been a good one so far, though. I think Kappa Alpha Theta has had a good showing in the tournament, and they were likely to do well in the championship game, but a 6-point margin, not unable to be overcome by Let My People free throw, or as we call them, the throwers. I was talking with a couple of the throwers players, and I said, is there something shorter we can call your team name? Because it's hard to say, oh, Let My People free throw down by 5 at the half, down by 6. And they said, oh, I don't know, whatever you want to do. So we'll just call them the throwers, and they said whatever we want to call them, they're okay with it.
That's one of my favorite parts about Intramural is coming up with the names. I mean, you get some really good ones. And, I mean, later on, for example, we have there's a team comprised of people from Dutch Bros.
Let's send it over to
We're here
Anna
with
Singer.
Pendle Knots. You guys are down 6 after the first half. What does your team plan on doing differently in the second half?
Well, we don't have a lot of height, and they have a lot of height against us, so we just need to focus on getting rebounds and blocking out. Our girls got to do a better job of making position, and if they go over the back, then that's a foul on them. That's all we can do. Get rebounds.
All right, thank you. Back to you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anna.
Thank you, Anna. And
Jinx. I got you first.
I owe you a Coke.
And some money from earlier when Kendall hit that free throw.
You're just cleaning up here in the first half, Josh. 19-13 is the score at halftime. The Thetas are currently leading Let My People free throw. Great name, but we're going to call them the Throwers from here on out unless we have some time because it's a great name. Now, this is, if you're just tuning in, is the first of 3 championship games, a part of KBVR-TV's triple header of intramural basketball championship games at Oregon State. And it's already been a lot of fun. The crowd's involved. A lot of people are starting to file in here, Josh.
Yeah, we got a lot of fans in attendance, both just people watching, people of future games, maybe members of the fraternities or sororities of these teams playing. In addition, of this game specifically, in fact, some of the players told us their parents may be making the trip down or watching online. For example, Amelia Craig of the Thetas, her parents Yvonne and Dolph will be here, as she said. Olivia Gilrod's mother Julia could be here. Nikki Deemer's parents Jeff and April are supposed to be here in the audience. Also watching online, as we were able to provide that perspective for some of these players whose parents are out of town. Actually, a very cool story that we heard coming into the game. Jody Kunigal, who had a good first half already. Her mom, Rose, is here attending the game. Her father, actually, his name is Art, recently departed for Afghanistan, and he is watching online on the stream. At least that's what we heard from Jody. And that's pretty cool to have him be able to watch his daughter play in an IM basketball championship.
Absolutely. So, Art, best of luck over there in Afghanistan, and thanks for watching. And thank you to the rest of you streaming online right now, getting a first taste of this. This has been a lot of fun already, and we're just getting underway here. 2 more games coming up, and another half in what's been a really exciting women's championship game. Now, you heard in the interview a member of the Throwers. That was actually that was Knotts, and Kendall Knotts is their post player. She's, I guess, what you could call their center, and she's got her hands full because the Thetas definitely have the size advantage against this team.
Yeah, we talked about Olivia Gilrod a lot and how she's a big rebounder, can score down low, and Kendall Knotts is kind of the particular player who's going to have to go head-to-head with her and kind of combat that. Hopefully at least just cancel out Gilrod's presence. And if she does, that'll be huge for her team because we got a 6-point game. It's probably going to come down to the wire. We've seen a lot of close games coming into the championships. When we were watching the semifinals and the quarterfinals here earlier this week at Dixon, there were 2 times actually in both the co-rec and the all-U championships, and actually a couple of times in the women's too, where there were multiple games going on, and both of them would come down within about 10 seconds of each other, and both of them were single-digit games, and it was hard for me to decide which one am I going to watch, which team am I going to try to see who wins, because they're both going on in the opposite courts. And it's so tough. These teams are so intense. They get into it. Oftentimes they're very evenly matched, and it makes for very exciting finishes in these ones.
Absolutely, and we talked a little bit to some people at Rec Sports, and they said there's really a lot of parity going on in certain divisions of the intramural basketball leagues this year, which is always exciting for people to come watch as, again, more and more people starting to show up here at Dixon Rec Center. Just about to get underway for the second half here. Again, if you're just tuning in, this is the Women's Intramural Championship game here at Oregon State, and it's almost the second half. We got a 6-point game. The Thetas currently lead 19-13. The Thetas, of course, are very familiar with each other, and the Throwers have some chemistry of their own, as this is the second year that they've been playing together, lost in the semifinals last year, but able to make it to the championship game this year and looking for more.
Yeah, and they've been used to these close games too. They've pulled out some close victories, a 9-point in their first game of the tournament in the quarterfinals, and an 8-point win in the semis. So they're not. This isn't a new thing for them to be in a close game.
The Thetas will start with the ball. 3-pointer up, far side, no good. Rebound controlled by the Throwers, and there they go, looking to move. That's. They have the speed and they want to use it. That was Uno with the rebound. Dribbles around and puts a 3-pointer up, barely hits iron, and that's going to be out of bounds. They're going to say it was actually off one of the Thetas, so the Throwers, lucky there, maintain possession.
I think it was partially blocked by Gilrod, at least that's what the call was, and I think it was a good call.
Ball inbounded, almost stolen, but Morrison able to dig it out. She takes it inside, passes up, but she was fouled first. So they're going to say that one was on the ground as she was going to pass.
A nice dump off by Morrison, though. She dribbled down, and then she decided not to take the shot but drop it off to Knotts, who's probably a little bit more able to not get blocked down low, probably has a little more experience around the basket, and so it's a good decision by Morrison.
Knotts inbounds the ball and then gets it right back over 2 defenders, puts it up and in. A great post move from Knotts. And that's a part of the game that they were looking to feature in the first half but just weren't able to. Ball tipped out of bounds, and the Throwers are going to get the possession again.
A little bit of momentum building. Had a 6-point lead at halftime, cut it down already. Still got plenty of time left, 13.5 minutes, and I'm expecting a close one, Matt. I'm going to call right now. I expect it to be within 5 or 6 points.
Well, 19-15 is the score right now. 3-pointer up and not even hitting the rim there. Second 3-pointer, deep one. Oh, and that's in. That was an NBA 3 almost. Holy smokes.
Kelsey Uno, and I saw her take a couple of those in the semifinals. In fact, when she was in high school, she tied her school record at Bear River High School in Grass Valley, California, for the most 3-pointers in one game with 6 in a single game. She knocks one down right there.
Kunagel's first 3-pointer off, second one off as well. Rebound controlled by the Throwers and a chance to regain the lead. 3-pointer up far side is in.
How about a momentum shift? Amanda Raithke with another 3, and all of a sudden the Throwers, who were down by 6 at halftime, only 2 minutes and 25 seconds have gone by, and they've already taken a 2-point lead.
An 8-0 run to start the second half for the Throwers, and they talked about something at halftime. The Thetas forced to call a timeout.
Yeah, I mean, they got it down low on the first possession, down to Kendall Knotts, and I think that made the Thetas stay honest down low, and then they spread the floor a little bit. Kelsey Uno with a downtown bomb. She was practically out at half court almost with that one. And another 3 by Raithke just a moment ago and give them a 2-point lead. And when I was saying it might be within 5 or 6 points, I thought I was making, hopefully it would be within 5 or 6. I think there's no doubt about it now.
Yeah, this is a competitive game. I mean, it was never the largest lead, I believe, 6 points in the first half for the Thetas. But just like that, kicking off the second half, the Throwers with a 2-point lead. 12:36 left in the game. And the Thetas looking to slow it down a little bit out of the timeout. Ball at the top of the key. A little back and forth action, trying to find an open shooter. Drive inside, stolen. They're going to call it jump ball there. Really good heads-up play from Queen Dash, able to get her hands on the ball there. And that should be black ball, I believe, because the Thetas started the half with the possession. So the Throwers, 2-point lead and the basketball. Under 12 minutes remaining in the game. Ball near side to Morrison. She's got a mismatch. She's going to take it inside, puts it up. Might have been blocked, rebounded, and tipped out of bounds. Throwers able to maintain possession, though.
And we talked about how the Throwers reclaimed the lead, got the momentum, but in the Theta's favor, however, their coach, Hayden Craig, we talked about in the pregame, an OSU tight end, and the Thetas talked about how he's able to keep them calm in moments like this, and so I wouldn't be surprised if the Thetas make a comeback of their own.
Raithke over to Morrison. Morrison kicks it far side, three-pointer up, no good. Rebound, fought for and controlled by the Thetas momentarily. Almost a turnover. Demers was immediately double-teamed as soon as she got that rebound, but she's going to take it inside. Almost a Euro step around her defender. Missed the first shot, gets her own rebound, puts it up and in.
Euro step is right. She just put the ball over her head. She didn't travel on it. Couldn't make that one, but she got her own offensive rebound, put it right back in.
21 all, under 11 minutes left here in the game. We've got a really good one for the women's championship game. What a great take. Oh, my goodness. Kelsey Uno dribbled around 3 defenders and put it up with her left hand.
And she's supposed to be a three-point shooter. What is she doing driving down to the basket? She surprised me, and she surprised the Thetas also.
The Throwers regain the lead, albeit a small one, up by 2. Three-pointer up, no good. Rebound, Kelsey Uno. She is active all over the court right now here in the second half, Josh. Ball over to Morrison. Thinks about the three-pointer, trying to find somebody open. Back to Uno. Uno around to Morrison's screen. Dribble drive inside by Knotts. Able to get the ball off. Mid-range jumper up and in. Raithke with a solid shot. And the Throwers with a 4-point lead now.
And it's been a little bit of balanced scoring. Raithke hit a 3. She just had that jumper right there. Uno with a couple baskets, and Kendall Knott started off in the half. It's been a balanced effort by the Throwers.
Shot up by Demers is long, and there's a foul. And it's on the Thetas, so the Throwers will get the possession. Loose ball foul on, I missed the number, darn it. So that's only the second team foul on the Thetas. However, like Josh mentioned, it's very difficult to get in the penalty. Another three-pointer for the Throwers is a bit long and over the backboard. Thetas will get the possession. Jennifer Curtis checks in for Amelia Craig for the Thetas. Ball being brought up by Nicole Demers. She's been active on both ends of the floor. Ball kicked inside. They're going to call a foul on Kelsey Uno. She's been all over the court, but she was a little too aggressive there.
Yeah, but I don't mind it, because when you're so aggressive like that and you're reaching in a little bit, you might pick up a foul from time to time, but it keeps the offensive honest. It makes them worried when they have the ball. A
really heads-up play. Demers inbounded the ball to Kunigal, and she put it up immediately, and because she had the size advantage, the Throwers were forced to foul, so she'll be shooting 2. 8:40 left as the first free throw goes in. Lead down to 3 for the Throwers. And it was a very short break for Amelia Craig. She checks in for Candace Richard for her first break of the second half. Second free throw up and in. The Throwers' lead is down to 2. We've got ourselves a basketball game, Josh.
Back and forth. There was a big lead for the Thetas in the first half, and the Throwers have dominated the second. And the last 8+ minutes will be the deciding factor.
Morrison with the ball, tries to take it inside, dribbles it back out. Over to Raithke, and then ball in the hand of Kelsey Uno. travels, and she almost traveled. She was forced to throw it away, and they are going to call the travel. Some Theta supporters in the crowd as they get a round of applause. A couple of subs for the throwers. Number 13, and that is Michaela Anderson, as well as number 15, Haley Porter. And Morrison with her first rest of the second half. Thetas with the ball, and they trail by 2. 7.5 minutes left here in the game. Contested three-pointer is short. Rebound fought for and tipped out of bounds. The throwers will get the ball. So I think the three-pointer was an air ball, and then just tipped out of bounds. It was fought for under the hoop. And the throwers with a chance to add to their lead. I
think the Thetas need to get the ball down low again. They've been taking a little bit too many threes recently. If they get it back down to Gilrod down low, that's what they do best.
And it was a good idea there for the throwers. That was Raithke trying to feed the ball inside, but couldn't quite thread the needle. So another turnover for the throwers. And like you'd mentioned, if the Thetas want to win this game, you're right. They absolutely have to go rely on their strength, and that's their height. They have the height advantage considerably. The shot's up and no good. Rebound fought for and controlled by the Thetas. Shot up, no good. And they're going to call it out of bounds off of the throwers. So Thetas will maintain possession.
And I said the Thetas should get the ball down low, but if anyone's going to take a three-pointer, it should probably be Candace Richard. Although
great steal there by Queen Dash, and puts it up. Oh, but the lay-in is missed. Rebound dug out by the Thetas. And an easy 2 points. Can't be taken advantage of for the throwers. Thetas with the ball again. And just like you said, Josh, they're passing the ball along the three-point line a lot. Good pass inside along the baseline. Almost thrown away. Far side three is up. Air ball. Second chance attempt is no good, but they're fouled.
Jody Kunigal again. We mentioned her name a lot of times in the first half on those offensive rebounds and putbacks. I guess getting it down low to Gilrod was one thing that the Thetas do well, but maybe even more so, just let Jody Kunigal get an offensive rebound. Why not just jack up three-pointers from half court? Just let Jody Kunigal get the offensive rebound. That's a pretty good offense.
She's got a nose for the ball. It seems like every time there's a miss on their end, she's fighting for it. And really, the only reason the Thetas are in this game at all is because of the second chance points and offensive rebounds.
And converting on free throws, too, as we just saw her do on the first one.
Yeah, the free throw discrepancy, we don't have the exact statistics, but it is well in the favor of the Thetas. The throwers missed quite a few free throws in the first half. 25 all. Tie game with under 5 minutes left. And the throwers seem to be slowing it down a little bit. Shot up for Queen Dash, no good. Rebound Thetas, and they can regain the lead on this possession. Really good defensive pressure from Knotts, though. I don't know if she's going to be able to get the ball over half court. Oh, but she's bailed out with a foul. Jody Kunigal was in trouble. Knotts had her dead to rights, but an aggressive move by Kunigal forced Knotts to foul.
And I think they used their timeout, Audrey, in this half, too, and you only get one per half, so that wasn't an option either for the Thetas.
Yeah, that would have definitely been a turnover, but a fortunate foul if you're a Thetas supporter. Ball inside, kicked over near side corner. Cross-court pass, shot is up, rims out, but rebound for the Thetas. Shot back up, rims off, rebound throwers. Anderson with the rebound, and they're looking to move. They got a 3-on-2 break. She's going to take it herself off the back iron. Oh, but they steal it, and they get a second chance. Morrison with the ball in her hand. Takes her dribble up, puts the shot up, no good. Rebound, though, and the lay-in is no good. Ball out of bounds to the Thetas. So the Thetas very fortunate here. The ball just not bouncing the way for the throwers. They're getting some chances and not converting.
Yeah, shades of Jody Kunigal on the offensive rebound, but not able to convert on that one. 3.5 to play in the game. Tie ball game, too.
Demers will run the point. Kicks the ball over to Kunigal. Kunigal inside to Craig. Drive along the baseline. Fakes the shot. And then out to the three-point line. They're trying to work the ball back inside. A good post move, no good. Rebound controlled by the throwers. Ball in the hands of Morrison. 3 minutes left, and the score is tied at 25. This is turning into a really great game. Dash with the ball, drives inside, no good. Rebound fought for and saved. What a great save for the throwers. Morrison and the throwers with a second chance to score. A crucial rebound. Shot is up, no good, but right there, the rebound and one.
Kendall Knotts coming up big. It's been a story of offensive rebounds this whole game. Whoever's been getting the putbacks on these missed threes. And there's been a couple of made threes also this game, but wherever the ball goes, whoever's been crashing the boards more has had the momentum in this one, and that's why the throwers are leading.
Kendall Knotts comes up with a huge rebound, and nobody was boxing out for the Thetas on her end, so she was able to get that and put it back easily. The free throw is up and in, so after a couple of missed free throws, she's able to put that one in there and convert the three-point play. 2 minutes left in the game. 3-point lead for the throwers. Three-pointer up, rims out. Oh, that was halfway down. Thetas try to save the ball. That was Nicole Deemers. She knew she was out of bounds, but she thought she might try to save it anyway.
It was a good effort, but stepped out of bounds closely. Still a 3-point game, though. Minute 51 left.
And ball in the hand of Morrison. I'm not sure if she knows that she needs to get the ball over half court. The throwers, of course, are very content to milk this possession and work the clock down a little bit. And the Thetas bring the defensive pressure. Ball in the hand of Morrison now, around a pick. Yeah, they're going to try to milk some of this clock. Morrison is tough to catch. Kicks the ball over, shot up. Oh, and it's in! Holy smokes, would you look at that. Queen Dash puts up the three-pointer, and she's fouled.
That looked pretty bad, though, as she hit the ground. It obviously wasn't an intentional play, but going down a little bit awkwardly was Queen Dash. Hope she's all right.
1:21 remaining in the game, and as we can see, Dash is down, but able to stand up on her own power and gets a warm round of applause from the fans. I hate to speculate, but it looks to be either a knee or an ankle on her right leg there. And having been part of a fairly gruesome injury during an intramural game before, I can tell you that she's going to have to potentially fill out some paperwork after that one.
That's surprising that she's even staying in. That's a hard-nosed play by Queen.
The free throw is up and in, and she converts the 4-point play. What a swing for the throwers. 32-25 with 1:15 remaining in the game. Ball far side, three-pointer up, off the backboard, no good. Good rebound, but the shot's blocked. And a third chance for the Thetas, ball out of bounds. They maintain possession. 1:03 remaining in the game. And the score 32-25, as you can see, you viewers at home. Ball being inbounded far side. Over to Candace Richard. Being defended by Dash, who's still in the game despite what looked like a pretty gruesome fall. Cross-court pass, the shot is up, no good. Rebound fought for and controlled by Dash. And the Thetas forced to foul.
It's not quite like those co-rec games where when the women score, that's double the points for them, whereas in just the straight-up women's games, it's normal scoring. So a 7-point margin is a legitimate 7-point margin, whereas the co-rec, you can get a 6-pointer in just a matter of one basket.
Cleanly inbounded. Anderson with the ball in her hand. She's just trying to milk some clock. The Thetas want to travel, but they don't get it. And the throwers doing a really good job of keeping the ball away from the Thetas. The Thetas took a long time fouling there. 33.7 left in the game. And the throwers with a 7-point lead. Are they shooting free throws here?
I don't think they're in the bonus yet, but they will be soon.
So they're inbounding from the side. Cleanly inbounded. Dash with the ball in her hand. Around a defender, able to kick it over to Anderson, and Anderson's fouled. 26.7 seconds left in the game now. And the Theta's running out of time. It's going to be difficult to mount a comeback in this one.
I thought it was going to be the throwers who were going to be in this position where they might be close towards the end of it, but they went into the halftime break down by 6. And then instead of needing to be the team to foul at the end, although a missed free throw out there, they're up with 25 seconds left.
About 21 seconds remaining left for the Thetas. Dribble drive inside, shots up, air ball, rebounded by the throwers, and that should just about do it. Knotts with the ball, and she's fouled. She'll be shooting a 1-and-1. 10.9 seconds remain. The throwers with the 32-25 lead and a chance to add to that. You have to figure even one free throw could ice it here. You don't even really need them.
Yeah, with 10.9, but I still like the effort by the Thetas sticking with it. Only a 7-point margin, and hey, if they hit a 3 towards the end there, maybe they'll make my prediction true of this game being within 6 points. So at least they've got that.
First free throw up and in for Knotts.
But either way, for both teams in this championship game, no matter who wins, it's been a great season for both of these teams. To get to this championship game, there's been some pretty high competition, so a close game of the championship, no surprise.
Absolutely. It's hard to get to the championship game. There are so many teams that play in all 3 levels, and to even make it here as a deep 3 put up, rebounded by the Thetas, shot no good. And that will do it for us. 34-25. The throwers hold Kappa Alpha Theta to only 6 points, Josh, in the second half.
Wow, that's a good stat right there. That is some solid defense. And I mean, we've seen that from the throwers so far. I mean, they held in the semis, they held the opposing team to only 24 points the entire game. It's been 25 in the championship game. So nothing new for this team, and they get rewarded with some free T-shirts and a championship to boot.
Those shirts are a hot button item, too. Let me tell you, the people that win those, they wear them with pride. And you know you're going to be seeing these around campus if you're an Oregon State student.
Yeah, the Dixon Rec employees were checking what shirt sizes with the 2 teams that were in each championship for each of these games, the women's, the co-rec, and the all-U, and they were already talking about sizes, and all the players were getting excited. Not only do you get to brag about how you won the championship game, you got some proof of it as you can wear around town and show, yeah, I won the IM basketball championship. This is what I did at OSU.
Absolutely. And like you said, the throwers did it with balanced scoring, Josh. We don't exactly have solid figures for you here because, come on, that's just a lot of work. But that, to me, the play of the game was there toward the end. Kendall Knotts with the offensive rebound putback and then converted the 3-point play by making the free throw. That was when the game was tied, and that put the throwers up 3, and they did not look back.
Yeah, that play, and also the one that stood out to me was when Queen Dash hit that jumper from deep. Was that even a 3-pointer, too?
It was.
It was a 3-pointer, and she got the free throw afterwards after getting hurt. In fact, when I was watching the semifinal game with Queen's team, she got the wind knocked out of her at one point during that game in the co-rec team. And however, her team only had 2 women on the roster, and you need at least 2 women playing on the court. So she had to play. She stayed in the game after getting the wind knocked out of her. She played the rest of the game, and then ended up playing the game after that with this team, the throwers, in the women's semifinals as well. And she won that semifinal game, get to the championship, and her team wins the women's IM basketball championship. Pretty cool storyline there.
Amazing, and it was a team effort. You can tell they have a lot of chemistry. They knew they were outsized, but they knew they were fast, and they made it work. I mean, this is a Kappa Alpha Theta team that is tough to beat. They have the size advantage, but the throwers able to come in here and in the second half come back and win the game, and quite convincingly too.
Yeah, it was a great comeback, and it gives some hope for these teams that are showing up in the next couple of games. We'll have the co-rec championship momentarily. It shows that you go into a halftime 6 points down. It doesn't matter. You could still win by 6 or 7 at the end of it.
And there's the ceremony, of course, the shirt ceremony at center court. We're going to, I believe, be hearing from a member of the women's championship team now, and that is Let My People Free Throw.
That's a good name. It's clever, although a little bit long for us, and so we had to shorten it down, but still a nice name.
Thank
you.
What do you think did it for your team today? You guys played a pretty tight game throughout the second half, but in the just last few minutes you came back with the lead. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, I think we went into the game a little unsure because our size is really small, but in the end I think going in the zone really helped, and also just pointing out like the shooters on the other team definitely helped too.
Thanks. Again, congrats on the win, and are you going to play Intramural next year?
Oh, definitely. Same team. We have a young team, so we can come back next year and hopefully win the championship again.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Back to you guys, Matt and Josh.
Congratulations again to the throwers who were able to pull off the I guess you could call it an upset, maybe.
An upset, or at least a comeback as far as upset in the second half. Yeah, it was an exciting one. It was almost unexpected with the team to go in with a 6-point halftime lead, but I like the fight from the throwers, and I'm expecting a couple more good games in the co-rec and the All-U championships after this one.
Absolutely, and I'm excited for the co-rec championship game. I played in a co-rec league last year, and so I'll have hopefully a little bit of insight for you there. Once again, congratulations to Let My People Free Throw. They are Oregon State's women's champions of intramural basketball, and they did it with the defense in that second half. Again, the stat of the night for me, they held the Thetas to only 6 points in the second half, Josh.
It was a strong defensive performance. You can tell that the Thetas were pretty efficient in the first half. I mean, they had potential offensively with Olivia Gilrod and a couple other players like Jody Kunigal with some offensive rebounds in the first half, but the throwers got cleaned up the glass in the second half, and they came out with it in the end, and it was a well-played game by both sides.
Looking ahead, the co-rec championship game slated for about an 8:05 start. We have Dutch Dynasty and the Dirty Dribblers, and we're going to tell you all about both of these teams. And we have a lot of good inside info for you. And co-rec is a different kind of game, really, because there's a different rule, and we'll tell you a little bit more about that when we come back.
We are with Jody Cooney, who had a tough loss today, but we heard that your dad is actually watching in Afghanistan. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, he is. He just left last week. I love you, Dad. I love you, Mom. I love you, Cody. It was a tough loss, but Theta ladies, we go strong and hard, and we'll come back next year.
Okay, great.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Go Beavers.
Cool. Thank you.
All right, that is such a great story, Josh, to have her dad, who just apparently went to Afghanistan, able to watch online as we're doing this broadcast, the Intramural Championship games. That's the story of the night for me.
I was expecting a couple people to be watching on the stream, some parents in the crowd maybe, but for that to be the case, that's pretty cool, and it increases the interest of these championship games, but that even overshadows it a little bit in a good way.
Absolutely. A really feel-good story. So, again, good luck out there, Art, in Afghanistan. And a special thanks to everybody who's watching us do this triple header of Oregon State Intramural Championship basketball. 3 championship games in a row. We just concluded the women's championship game where Let My People Free Throw beat Kappa Alpha Theta in what was a really exciting game. The score doesn't really tell the story. I mean, that was close the whole way through.